Hello students of class 9. See, this is your textbook, poems and short stories textbook, right? And now I am going to take up here short stories. Till now I have taught you story number 2, The Old Man at the Bridge, right? And I had also begin story number 3, A Horse and Two Goats, written by R.K. Narayan, right? Let's see story number 3. See story number 3, A Horse and Two Goats, written by R.K. Narayan. In the last video you have seen, I had given you a brief introduction about the writer, I mean to say R.K. Narayan, and also I had given you a brief story. I told you about the brief story about this story, A Horse and Two Goats. This story is only a misunderstanding between two persons, right? Here R.K. Narayan describes what happens when an English-speaking American meets an illiterate South Indian villager who knows only Tamil, and what has happened between them, between their conversation, only the misunderstanding about the story, right? Here a villager who sat near the statue of a horse, and an American person who thought that this statue is Tamil villagers. That means his name was Muni, and he want to buy that statue, and Muni thinks that he wants to buy his two goats, right? This is the only misunderstanding between their conversation. That's why the whole story is depend on this, right? Let's see the story. Now today I am going to start your textbook. Let's see the textbook. Yes, see chapter 3, A Horse and Two Goats, written by R.K. Narayan, on page number 52. Of the 700,000 villages dotting the map of India, Kritam was probably the teeniest indicated on the district survey map by a microscopic dot. But its size did not prevent its giving itself the grandiose name Kritam, which meant in Tamil cornet or crown on the brow of this subcontinent. The village consisted of less than 30 houses, only one of them built with brick and cement. जो गाँव था, that village name was Kritam, and there 30 houses were there in that village, and only one of them built with brick and cement. उनमें से सिर्फ एक ही घर जो है brick मतलब ईंटें और सीमेंट का था. Painted a brilliant yellow and blue all over the gorgeous carving of gods and gargoyles on its balustrade. It was known as the big house. उस गांव में यही बड़ा मकान था. The other houses distributed in 4 streets were generally of bamboo thatch, straw, mud, and other unspecified material. Muni's was the last house in the 4th street. जो 4th street थी उसमें मुनी का घर सबसे लास्ट में था. Beyond which stretched the field. उसके घर के पीछे फिर खेत थी. In his prosperous days, Muni had owned a flock of 40 sheep and goats and sailed forth every morning, driving the flock to the highway a couple of miles away. There he would sit on the pedestal of a clay statue of a horse while his cattle grazed around. He carried a crook at the end of a bamboo pole and snapped foliage from the avenue trees to feed his flock. He also gathered faggots and dry sticks, bundles them, and carried them home for fuel at sunset. At sunset means in the evening. His wife lit the domestic fire at the dawn, boiled water in a mud pot, threw it into a handful of millet flour, added salt, and gave him his first nourishment for the day. When he started out, she would put in his hand a packet lunch. Once again, the same millet cooked into a little ball, which he could swallow with a raw onion at midway. रास्ते में जाते समय खा लेता. His fortune had declined gradually, unnoticed, from a flock of 40 which he drove into a pen at night. His stock had now come down to the 2 goats which were tethered to the trunk of a drumstick tree which grew in front of his hut and from which occasionally Muni could shake down drumsticks. This morning he got 6. He carried them in with a sense of triumph, although no one could say precisely who owned the tree. It was his because he lived in its shadow. His wife said, "If you were content with the drumstick leaves alone, I could boil and salt some for you." He said, "Oh, I am tired of eating those leaves. I have a carving to chew the drumstick out of sauce. I tell you, you have only 4 teeth in your jaws." उसकी वाइफ कहती है, Muni's wife said, "You have only 4 teeth in your jaws, but Your carving is for big things. All right, get the stuff for the sauce and I will prepare it for you. After all, next year you may not be alive to ask for anything. But first get me all the stuff, including a measure of rice or millet, and I will satisfy your unholy craving. Our store is empty today. The chili, curry leaves, mustard, coriander, genzali, oil, and one large potato. Go out and get all this. उसकी वाइफ कहती जाओ ये सब सामान लेके आओ. He repeated the list after her in order not to miss any item and walked off to the shop in the third street. Right? Muni sat patiently on an upturned packed case below the platform of the shop. दुकान पहुंच गया वहाँ के दुकान के पास वहाँ बैठ गया. The shopman paid no attention to him. कोई ध्यान नहीं देता. Muni kept clearing his throat, coughing and sneezing until the shopman could not stand it anymore and demanded, "What ails you? You will fly off that seat into the gutter if you sneeze so hard, young man." Muni laughed inordinately in order to please the shopman at being called young man. This completely won the shopman over. He liked his sense of humor to be appreciated. Right? By thus humoring the shopman, Muni could always ask for one or two items of food, promising repayment later. Some days the shopman was in a good mood and gave in, and sometimes he would lose his temper suddenly and bark at Muni for daring to ask for credit. The shopman said, "If you could not find 5 rupees and a quarter, you will have paid off an ancient debt. How much have you got now?" He said, "I will pay you everything on the first of the next month." As always, and whom do you accept to rob by then? Muni felt caught and mumbled, "My daughter has sent word that he will be sending me money. That she will be sending me money. Have you a daughter?" sneered the shop. "And she is sending you money? For what purpose? May I know?" he said. "Birthday, 15th birthday." Muni said quietly, "Birthday? How old are you?" So Muni replied, weakly, not being sure of it himself, 50. He always calculated his age from the time of the Great Famine, when he stood as high as the parapet around the village well. But who could calculate such things accurately nowadays, with so many famines occurring? The shopman felt encouraged when other customers stood around to watch and comment. More likely you are 70, he said to Muni. You also forget that you mentioned a birthday 5 weeks ago when you wanted castor oil for your holy path. Clear? At this, Muni unobtrusively arose and moved off. इसमें मुनि aggressive हो गया and moved off towards his house. Okay, students? Now, this story will be continued in the next video. You will find very soon.